So one of the most unique geographic features of the PD landscape is the existence of Carolina bays. Bays are elliptical depressions in the earth that science has found no real conclusive evidence as to their origin. In Florence County here we have Woods Bay. It's about 1,500 acres of protected land. Now, the existence of Carolina bays is a new development. It wasn't until the 1930s that a group of land surveyors were taking aerial photographs and discovered bays in Horry County. One popular species of plant, the pitcher plant, is a carnivorous plant that feeds on insects. I don't know if there's a connection between Carolina bays and these carnivorous plants, but it's a question left up to science to answer. And we also have wildlife that lives in these bay areas. One of those is the black bear, which is not threatened in South Carolina, but it is vulnerable. It's important that these bay areas be preserved in order to preserve the habitat for these animals. What a lot of people might not know about wildlife in the PD region is that we have a diverse assortment of species that are either rare, threatened, or endangered. Here we have the Atlantic sturgeon, which is a migratory fish that comes and breeds in the waters of the PD River. Here, the Pine Barrens tree frog is another species that is threatened by poor management of the land. The Pine Barrens tree frog requires low-growth scrub in the sandhills regions. High moisture areas and swampland are ideal for this species. In the case of the big-eared bat, it's very rare that these are seen and have only been documented in just a few counties. So if you see one of these species, please contact the Department of Natural Resources. These are very rare, and as time passes, unless we are able to conserve the natural habitat for these species better than we are doing today, then your chances to actually see one in real life may be pretty short. Here's another one, the northern pine snake. This variety occurs also in the sandhills region, just like the Pine Barrens tree frog. The southern fox squirrel. This is an interesting animal, probably not as familiar to some people as the regular brown tree squirrel. These squirrels are much larger and have been mistaken to be foxes in some cases because of their odd coloring and their large size. These also prefer sandhills regions and the longleaf pine habitats. When we talk about wildlife conservation in South Carolina, a lot of bird enthusiasts have lobbied for the conservation of this habitat for the red-cockaded woodpecker. They're fairly large woodpeckers, and they live, like the Pine Barrens tree frog, in holes that occur naturally in longleaf pine habitats.